be accusing me. I know they're beautiful. Many of my friends, evangelicals, are beautiful. So that's the argument. I think we're in a tense time now. And so I'm trying to be as precise as I can, careful as I can, because, it's not they're good, they're bad, you're good. No, we're in it together, friends. Yeah? Y'all with me? We're in this together, or we're going down together. But I think it is a dangerous time, because we do have people who want to try to divide us. And national identity, labeling others is a sure way to try to do that. And it's really dangerous. And to take, let's just be honest about it. Taking religion into politics is death. Is death. The founders of our country separated those two. And they meant to keep it that way. When politicians get a hold of a religion, it's trouble, double trouble. It's violent. It almost always gets violent. That's the argument. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a puzzling question for you. Maybe you can shed some light on it. Oh, thank you. I wasn't raised as an evangelical, so I don't know all about what they believe and what they don't believe. But what I'm wondering about is that so many, you say 70% of evangelicals are for Trump. And yet there are many different sects of Christianity, I think, that believe different ways. And it seems like to me that one should believe in the writings and the teachings of Jesus. And what they seem to be doing by supporting him is ignoring the Beatitudes, and ignoring the Sermon on the Mount, what Jesus told us to do. That's very puzzling to me, and I don't understand it. Can you shed any light on it? Is it all to do with the abortion issue?
No, well, it just depends. I have many good evangelical friends who feel really strongly about abortion and that would do anything to stop it. But there's others who are using politics and maybe using issues to strengthen their political positions. I have more trouble with them. Do you hear me? I can take an evangelical who's like passionate about saving little infants. I mean, who isn't passionate about that? I think there should be choice, but it should be limited. I mean, that's my opinion. But but when it gets into politics, that's where it gets really problematic. When you start labeling people who are not evangelicals as not American, that's a problem. When you label a whole religion problematic, Muslims, it's stupid. And it's dangerous too. It's just dangerous. So I think I agree with you. So, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just going to stand up with my legs.
Yeah.
Two questions, maybe even three. First of all, you're talking about Trump, the age of Trump, and yet I think that he just happened to harness this movement. He certainly isn't a true believer in whatever. I mean, he'll go along with anything. I think it gave him power and it worked. Right. Is that correct? Is that association correct?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, because you said that this poll proved a predictive value, which means just a sort of an association or correlation, not causation.
Yeah.
And that's sort of, in a sense, sort of lets him off the hook, except he's just another politician.
Right.
Will harness whatever works. But it's scarier, and that it really is a very, very fundamental movement, a long-term, decade-long movement in the country that has nothing to do with Trump specifically, but is even much broader than that. Is that a correct?
Well, I have an answer for you. Are you ready? Is that it?
Well, that's
okay. So this is really important. This is an important question, and I didn't bring it up, and that is this rise in Christian nationalism also coincides with a higher rate of immigration into the country. Now, so I want to encourage you to read an article. You take this down or somehow get it. David Frum, F-R-U-M, wrote an article on immigration in the Atlantic. You can download it. You can look at it. Look it up on Atlantic, David Frum, on immigration. It's very controversial, okay? Now, Frum is a liberal. He's also an immigrant, came from Canada, he's a naturalized citizen. But he does a great job of showing the history of immigration and what's happening today. And what his argument, based on what I assume are empirical facts, is that immigration rate is at the highest it's almost ever been. So he thinks, now you may disagree, and I'm not trying to rationalize this problem, but he thinks in part the rise in nationalism is related to that. Now, why does he think that? That most white males, especially middle class, lower middle class white males, voted overwhelming for Trump, and often said it was for the sake of too much immigration, loss of jobs. Now, so it's very interesting to think. Okay, this is just a thought. This is just a thought. I'm not anti-immigrant. Don't jump on me now. Is on the macro level, when immigration rises to a certain level, there's a certain sense in which the country sort of clutches itself and says, enough is enough. Our own people don't have what they need, right? Now, is that true or not? Frum tries to answer that specific question. I have a suspicion, all right? I have a suspicion there might be some truth to it. In the midst of that stress, where working class whites in particular, let's be honest, males, feel this is unfair. This is not right. Now, there may be a lot of other reasons than immigration, but there's something going on there that I think as a nation we better get a hold of and begin to think about much more deeply. And Democrats' response to this, some of them, open the borders, just let them all in. Okay? Do you hear that, right? Yes, some Democrats will say that. Now, I'm not an anti-immigrant person by any means, but I'm not stupid, okay? If you think about the political ramifications of that, problematic for the country, and maybe civil unrest. And that could be a part of what's going on. That's an interesting argument that Frum makes. It just came out in the Atlantic. Do read it. I mean, it's very controversial. He got destroyed online. Online is like do you guys go online anymore? I don't. I just put on like cat pictures of my little girl, and they can't, hate that. So, you know what I mean? It's dangerous on there. It's something to think about, and I'm not proposing that as the solution. Something's going wrong though. White males who are middle class and lower middle class, they're humans too. They're our citizens. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just thinking the contrast. I get very caught up in World War II history and thinking about Roosevelt, who I admired from afar, having been alive when he was president. But the number of Jewish families and Jewish children that he did not allow to immigrate into this country, even when it was becoming very apparent that Hitler was genocide. And I'm struck by, so over centuries, we've had attitudes towards immigrants. The other thing I'm connecting here is that communication is so much more immediate today because of the internet. so that things like what happened during Roosevelt's time, you know, maybe people finally heard something about it, but today we know instantly
Right.
everything nasty and good that's going on.
Yeah, no, thank you for the comment that Roosevelt turned away Jews. It's horrible. Yeah, no, for as immigrants, and I'm not suggesting anything so horrible. I'm just saying, if we're looking at the country as a whole, are there macro changes that can shift us away from the kind of situation we're really kind of on the edge of a cliff in terms of hating one another and separating from each other? And this is scary, aren't you? A little nervous? Yeah, I am. Go ahead.
I am a retired psychiatric nurse,
Yeah.
and for 40 years, and I worked a lot with people who are narcissists. And my mother is a narcissist, and I grew up with her. And Trump has all of the signs and symptoms of a narcissist. And what they do is they want to make sure that people are divided. And I'm just wondering if this is in large part because of Trump's narcissism that this is
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah. Thanks for the good question. You grew up with a narcissist, and narcissism, you know, as I know too, tends to want to divide people and get scapegoats and all that good stuff. And it's a horrible situation. Yet, well, I can't disagree with you. But, okay, this is kind of what I think. The whole countries are not nice narcissists. We're not all narcissists. So I think some of the concerns are real among the white working class. That's what I would say. And so I think of Trump more as a symptom than a cause. He's carrying the flag for sure, but I think he couldn't do any of this unless there was, he's got 43% in his pocket. He could kill somebody, just nobody cared. I mean, seriously, it's a really strong unit of support. Could any politician go through the kind of withering criticism he got on national news? Still have 43%? That's remarkable. I'm not saying he's remarkable, that's remarkable. So there's real concern, and to keep from civil war, I would prefer to try to understand one another. It's a scary time. I'm with you. It's I don't listen to him anymore. It's just, yeah, because of what you're saying. Yeah. What are you going to say?
I guess I was just going to say that it seems to me like my old friend Peter Lucky was talking about. Speaking of was talking about a lover's quarrel, but I see more and more the people framing it as war. I'm touched by, alarmed actually by how often I hear the term invasion being used, which to me conjures up war imagery. And in a war setting, using disinformation, fake news to win a battle is an admirable thing. It's not the truth becomes very secondary. So anyway, those are some of the things that I find alarming, and I guess I just wanted to.
Yeah, no, thank you. I second you. I mean, it's alarming. It shouldn't be.